Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. We have 14 people. It's 5:02, so we'll get started. As you know, I'm Lou Raiders, your Cherry Creek Steering Committee Chair. Tracy Winchester is on. She is our Vice Chair. We have good representation from all the neighborhoods, it looks like. Mary, good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. I know you're traveling a lot. Um, and of course, Mike and Richard, thanks for being here. Um, so we are going to just dive in here. I think that we might finish a little bit early. Oh, now, Richard, that is a cute puppy.
It's my
There's,
favorite daughter out of all of them.
oh, you know what I tell you, there are lots of good reasons to work from home, and Critters is definitely
Yep.
on the top of that list. So you all got the recording from the last meeting. Richard, thank you for helping make that available. I'll be sending that around to Cherry Creek North Neighborhood Association too with my report to them. So I assume you guys can all do the same so that everybody is aware of the issues that we're talking about in the greater Cherry Creek area. So with that, I think we will. I do not see Owen. I know that most of the council folks are away right now at a conference, so we will jump over that and go right to our reports from Richard and then Mike.
Okay. I think we'll really have to report on start with just events. As everybody knows, we have Cherry Creek Arts Festival coming up. So that'll be the 4th through the 6th. That'll be the same closure plan as last year. So expect really no changes in their layout. Third Avenue will be open, so we will be able to access the alleyways to get to parking garages. Then going a little deeper into July, we have Bastille Day at French Fest, July 11th through Sunday, July 13th. The sidewalk sale, Thursday, July 17th through Sunday, July 20th. So quite a few events there. Then if I back it up, we are going to have another concert, and that will be on July 10th will be the next concert that we have. We just had that Beach Boys one this month, and it was just amazing. So many neighbors came out, and we had so many people, and the band came in from Huntington Beach, and they were just amazing. And they had I don't want to say like a 12-year-old was in the band. It was a family band, and just a great time with everybody. I got to see Meredith there. We spent some time together, and it was just a great time. Other than that, we're really focusing a bit on construction disruption right now. As everybody knows, a little bit of building going on. So trying to path out a real campaign to address that. So, instead of just being frustrated and coming up to like a closed sidewalk, maybe some kind of fun campaign that you can look at and chuckle and be like, okay, I got to go across the street. So more to come on that. So our marketing team is working on that now, but just really excited to get these summer events going. And I would say get out and enjoy the landscaping. Those enhancements are full force right now. They want to take a look down Columbine. We did some beautiful work there, and we have quite a few corner intersections we'll be investing in this year. So just I'd say all good things coming down the pipe from us.
Thanks, Richard. And I got to tell you, I mean, the timing with Brian Wilson's passing for the Beach Boys cover was terrific. I mean, I think we were all reminded through the news stories about how impactful that human was and what great music they shared with all of us over the years. So thanks for doing
Yep.
that. That's a lot of fun. I talked to a lot of people who went. And it's just a great thing to have to celebrate Cherry Creek. So
Yeah.
thanks.
This month is John Denver tribute. So it's a John Denver tribute band this month. So if you like John
Oh,
Denver, come on down.
oh yeah. You know that I can sing along with all these bands. You know, very few of them that go to Mile High anymore, but every all the tribute bands, I'm there.
Yep.
Thank you very much for that report. Mike Wilson, thank you for being here. Could you please report on the mall?
Absolutely. Thanks, Lou. Lots of stuff going on over there. Would like to report that the center remains fully leased. We're at 98.8% leased. In the last couple of months, we've welcomed a number of either new tenants or tenants that remodeled and possibly expanded. So the ones we welcomed in June were Foot Locker, Wonderland Toys, who got a permanent home. They were a temporary tenant, and they're now a permanent tenant forever to stay, hopefully. Tory Burch got a new home. American Eagle got their new concept store opened in May. Allen Edmond got their new concept store opened in May. Swarovski opened up a temporary store while they worked on their permanent store in May, and then Kiehl's opened up their new home in May as well. We're not done though. We've got a whole bunch of other stuff in the pipeline. We got under construction right now Aldo, a brand new Sephora store, a vastly expanded St. Laurent store, IWC, Nico Nico Boba Tea, Sip Fresh. We've got Perfume Mania and Aroma 360. So those are all under construction and should be open by the end of the summer, early fall, give or take, for most of those stores. So lots of great stuff going on with that. And then on the events front, we did a successful bike to work event this morning. Mason and Kaylee were out there from our marketing team running that, and the turnout was phenomenal. And also I wanted to touch base on the kids club. I know when we met last, I sent out that notification. Thank you to this entire group. You guys did a wonderful job of getting the word out. We did our third event today. It was cookie decorations, and the turnout was amazing. I asked the team for the numbers. I haven't gotten them yet, but the entire Grand Court was packed. So kudos to you guys for really just supporting that and getting that out to the community. Last year it was a slow build. This year it's been entirely different, and I really attribute you guys to helping out for that. So thank you. And it's a great thing. It's free community events. So we've got 5 more of those events. They'll pick back up again in July, and then they wrap up middle of August. And then the last thing we got on our agenda, similar to what Richard said, we're getting our parking team ready for the upcoming arts festival. So plenty on our plates. Thanks, Lou.
Yeah. Mike, I got to tell you, I mean, the give back for those kind of events to the community is just terrific.
We enjoy doing them.
If you continue to send those to me, I will share them with the group.
Thank you.
And I encourage everybody to push them out. Brooks, did you have a question? You have your hand up.
I have a hand up. So Meredith contacted me about the fountain, the other fountain.
The Vagoda Fountain, I
Yeah.
think is its proper name.
You got a hold of Bro and got it turned on, right?
I don't know who did, but it just happened to be good timing. It just happened to be a week later that it turned on. So yes,
Well,
it looked lovely.
Both of them were on by the creek, and they look beautiful.
yeah.
That's Parks and Rec. Yeah. Can I ask a couple of questions for both the shopping center and Cherry Creek North? It used to be with the steering committee that we were able to get some numbers in terms of what type of sales tax revenue people are doing, and where the sales tax is coming from. I don't know if that's available anymore. Used to be pretty helpful, especially when you were petitioning the city. It was when we were trying to work with Webb on some things, but we actually got numbers in terms of breakdown. I don't know if in terms of sales tax revenue.
I'm going to punt that one to Richard, because I know Richard, and Richard, let me know if I'm mistaken, but I thought you had gotten, or Nick had gotten some numbers from the city on that. Am I mistaken?
No, you're correct. Yeah, we do get those numbers, Meredith, for the bid boundaries and also the greater Cherry Creek area. So they are posted most likely on our website with our board minutes. So you can find them there.
You had it there.
And, yeah, and I will check to see if we could just bring those to the committee when we get them.
Oh, that would be helpful, because trying to find stuff for me, I'm old. The other thing is, Mike, I'm sorry I missed you at Bike to Work Day today. But I was hoping, I've spoken to several people on your team, if you could get the bike, the air pump working and a sign on it saying that it's not working.
They brought that to my attention, Meredith. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And as a fellow cyclist, I'm with you. I want it to work.
Yeah. Oh, I have a long history with that going way back. But that would be great. And
I talked to the team today.
To anybody, including the shopping center or Cherry Creek North, the fences that we have all over the place, in my mind, are kind of boring. And the Ladies Fancy Work Society used to knit bomb and make it fun. And CPAC did a fences project where they had actually put up across from the shopping center on Cherry Creek, on the trail. But there are programs where we can kind of dress up some of these fences so that it makes it more interesting. Maybe, just to make it more curious and not be a negative for the area. I think it was Coors Field that got Nip Balm and Great Flowers, and you know, I don't know. I know you guys want to keep it more interesting here, so those are just two thoughts.
Thanks, Meredith. Yeah, those nip bums are pretty cool. So Richard, if you haven't seen those, just Google it. It's kind of interesting.
I can send you pictures of what they had at downtown Denver.
Very cool.
Okay.
Stuart,
Send
did
them
you
over.
want to weigh in at all on Bike to Work Day and how your vacation was?
Well, the vacation was wonderful. I went to Montreal where I grew up, saw some childhood friends, which is always nice, and of course took my kids over to see my elementary school, which they're completely disinterested in. So, but anyway, it's done. And we had a great time. Thank goodness for good weather today because we were worried about the heat over the weekend and what it would be like this morning, but we couldn't have had better weather. Slightly overcast, cool, not hot. We got great turnouts at all of the different places that we had stations set up. In Cherry Creek, of course, we had our typical station. Thank you to the shopping center and Cherry Creek West and others who have been so supportive with us on those things. This year, we had the privilege of Dottie joining us on their First Avenue bike lane roadway improvement project to solicit input. That went very well, so we're happy about that. I have not seen any numbers yet. The goal is we were at 20, almost 21,000 participants last year. Prior to COVID, we got up to 30. So we're hoping to get back up to maybe 24. I hate saying that because I'm going to find out that answer in about 45 minutes. And I may be way off, but I'm optimistic at this point.
Well, thank you. Thanks for that report. Let's see. Jenny, I think this puts us on to Cherry Creek West.
Great, thank you.
I think you were a part of that Bike to Work Day too. So
Yes, I was out there this morning. We saw Meredith and a number of other neighbors, and so great to talk to everyone, especially cyclists who are excited to learn more about the work we're going to be doing to expand the trail in that area as part of the work we're going to do overall with off-site improvements related to the development. So it's really fun to talk to people and hear their enthusiasm for sure. In terms of Cherry Creek West, we are still in the design phase and early permitting, but we did get out of concept permitting for the site development plan review, which is a great milestone. So we will actually be going to the Cherry Creek Design Advisory Board next month for our enabling work. So that's the first round of work related to the roads within our site. So really that preliminary work. So really looking forward to that first meeting. And then in the following months, we'll be presenting on the first couple of buildings, but they've asked that we break it up just because the project is so large. So things are moving along and everything's good.
well, congratulations on that. And for those of you who want to tune in, those DAB meetings are, what date is this one, Jenny, coming up?
July 9th. It's at 8 a.m. and it's in that conference room. I don't know how many in-person people they want, but there's definitely a virtual option
Yes,
as well.
that's what I was going to tell people. Sometimes it's good to you get a good description, and it's the DAB folks are so wonderful to listen to, and they bring so much talent and value. So you can put that on your calendars if you're interested in seeing how that has rolled out. And congratulations, Jenny, on meeting that milestone. I know that is a big one. That is a really big one. So Okay. I'm just going to give a quick update on the JID discussions. I've been speaking with Councilwoman Sawyer about this. The survey had closed. Frankly, I think there were some. They're still trying to figure out the results of the survey. There was a fair amount of misinformation that had been distributed about the JID or about the survey and a number of things. And then I don't really know, but I know that there were sometimes maybe up to 20 or 30 responses from the same, email link. So whether that was corrupted, any results, what the results really told us. It looks to me that the survey is not going to be as helpful as that team had wanted. So for those of us that are on that JID small working group, I think what we will be hearing is that they will be moving forward into the next phase in order to really answer most of the questions and complaints, which were issues like, we don't know what this is going to cost. Well, that's the cart before the horse. The horse really is, what do people want to see so that you can price it and then determine what it will cost. So if Councilwoman is willing to spend her allocated dollars to move that forward, those will be the next topics of discussion for the JIT. So I'm sure there will be more. As you all know, there's a lot of access to that. So keep your eyes peeled. I'm sure there'll be more information soon, but that's about all the update that I can really provide on that right now. So with that, that will bring us to our speaker for this evening, Kayla. I don't know if you were there this morning, but many of you know Kayla from Dottie, who is, and I'm going to make you a co-host right now. There you go, so you can share screen. Kayla was one of our primary contacts for all things Denver Moves Cherry Creek. She's been very willing to help us bring information to the steering committee and has really been very helpful in any time that we need to reach out on issues from Dottie's perspective. And for that, we really appreciate it. And so I've asked her to be here to talk specifically about that First Avenue project that is the continuation of Denver Moves Cherry Creek that many of us worked on for almost 3 years. I think, Kayla, seems like a good percentage of my life at this point. But if you could go ahead and take over the screen. And Bill Tanner, is that just something behind you that you've put into your background, or are you really on a beach? Thanks for joining, but it looks pretty nice wherever you are. Oh, you're muted, but maybe you don't even want to tell us because it looks like you're really someplace special.
Well, it does. It's just Colorado about 1 million years ago. A moment,
Okay.
a moment a T-Rex is going to appear behind me.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Okay. Well, you look the part. You just need a Corona and you've got it made.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thanks for joining us, Bill. And
Sure.
with that, Kayla, I'm going to turn it over to you to tell everybody about the First Avenue project and the timing.
Gotcha. Yeah, I actually wasn't planning on sharing slides, but definitely I can pull up the slides I have from the public meeting and the stakeholder meeting if there are specific questions that people have. But kind of wanted to clear up a few key questions and things that are like a little confusing about the project. So we are actually, let me see if I can share my screen. I'm used to using Teams, so bear with me a little bit.
Okay.
All right. You all can see this?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so this is the project area for the project. So it encompasses all of First Avenue from Downing to University, including widening the Cherry Creek Trail on this side, and then also designing intersection improvements at Downing and University. So we'll be looking at all of those things. And we kicked off the project in April. We're currently kind of wrapping up our first phase of outreach. I was at Bike to Work Day this morning, and we got a lot of good feedback from cyclists. A lot of people are really excited about this project, so that was really great to hear. We had our first public meeting last week and stakeholder meeting 2 weeks before that. So we're kind of wrapping up this first phase of engagement, and then we'll have the second phase of engagement later this summer, likely in August. But we're taking this design only to 30%. So typical design ones are 30, 60, 90%. And that really just means that we're pretty early in the design process, but we are beginning to dig into the feasibility of things. So you all might remember that we developed a concept for the intersections and for the trail through Denver Moves Cherry Creek. So it's a pretty high level concept. We didn't really dig into the feasibility, the engineering aspects of it. And that's kind of what we're doing now. So it's a high level design, but this sets us up for future funding opportunities. So part of this exercise is getting a pretty good cost estimate. So we'll know at the end of this what the project will cost to construct, and then we can go after funding. So we don't have a real implementation timeline yet, but we will wrap up this 30% design project later this summer. Any other key stuff that I should cover?
So where would it go once this wraps up? What's next?
To be determined. It would be great if we got funding through the bond, and we would probably kick off another project or do an extension of this project. It might be the same team. So myself and Marie Thumbing is the design project manager for the project. It could be us, or it could be different team, like brand new project, basically. We do have a consultant working with us on this now, Kimley Horn. So I think we would have to go back out to bid and choose another consultant. But if it doesn't get funded through the bond, then we'll kind of be back to the drawing board. We'd have to think about different funding sources, potentially the state, federal funding opportunities for bike projects is not looking good right now. So it could be a little while on the federal front, but we would kind of be back to the drawing board as far as funding goes. We would just have to take some time to reconsider. And then once we got funding, we would kick off the rest of the design.
I would like to remind everybody, and Meredith, I know you just brought this up, that in the public outreach, we did talk a lot about the fact that the Denver Moves process, which included East-West and was going on at the time that they were talking about their rezoning, and at the time that we all were completing our developer and community benefit agreement, we really talked about how these would intersect. So the request, for example, of changing the intersection at University, that still is going on. It just is also involving East-West. East-West is going to be putting in bike lanes on their frontage on First. So, and then connecting to the trail. So those things will happen. Many of us have tried to put a word out for some of the Vibrant Bond proceeds for the Cherry Creek Trail and running along the creek and then connecting to this important corridor. So there will be aspects of this, whether we get that bond funding or not, that will be going forward, at least insofar as East-West has agreed to make certain improvements and is putting in those improvements as a part of its first phase construction. And Jenny, I don't know if you want to say anything about that. If so, let me know and you can talk through that timing a little bit. But we have had some questions about other portions of the Denver Move recommendations, including Steel Street and then the corridor from Steel basically to Colorado. I mean, there are definitely parts of the conversation about how people move through and around Cherry Creek. So it isn't that those are off the table. It is just that in prioritizing what parts of this puzzle we can start working on now, given the limitation on funding, both from the city perspective and the federal perspective. But I just want everybody to know this is just the basically the start of the real design, but the recommendations will continue. Isn't that right, Kayla?
Right. And I should also note that we did dedicate a smallish amount of money to construction through Denver Moves Cherry Creek. We wanted to make sure that we could actually implement some of the projects we were recommending aside from this. So we do have a dining design package with Fair and Piers that's going on right now. That's a combination of, it's mostly funding from Denver Moves Cherry Creek. There's a little bit of funding coming from our pedestrian crossing program that's improving some of the smaller intersections like Bayard and Adams, I think is one, and then maybe Bayard and Madison. Don't quote me on that. I think those are the two intersections. And then there are a few other intersections. We are looking at First Ave around Cook and Madison, where that existing RFB is, and looking at how that's working, if there should be another one, what else we should do there. So there are, I think, like 5 or so other intersections that we're designing now. And then we do have funds to construct. So we do have some projects moving into implementation that were identified through Denver Moves Cherry Creek, in addition to this First Avenue project.
And for those who have inquired about that stretch of First Avenue going east to Colorado, we at Cherry Creek North and Cherry Creek East work together to do a really robust development agreement and community benefit agreement about the development of those corners where there is an obligation of the developer, and this runs with the land, so it is binding on whoever buys it, to put in better infrastructure at those corners where in the last, I think it was 4 years ago, maybe, when they put in the median that would help traffic flow around Harrison on First. So the goal would be to sort of continue that in the manner in which we have agreed to it in the development agreement. And you can find that on the Cherry Creek North Neighborhood Association website under the Zoning and Development tab for the Gateway properties. So it isn't that nothing is continuing on those. It's just that in this environment, this is the first of the dominoes that we hope to fall. Brooks, there is a question about narrowing the median. This was a topic for the public informational meeting that was held about narrowing the median, which does have historic designation. The team is well aware of that, working with Historic Denver and the Country Club Historic Neighborhood Association as well. So it isn't that it cannot be narrowed, it just has to go through some additional processes because of that. So is there Meredith asks, is there a breakdown of funds from Denver Moves? Will it be shared with those on the committee? I don't know if you want to pick that up, Kayla, or if that's too in the weeds for this point in time.
Yeah, too in the weeds. There might be something in the plan, Denver Moves Cherry Creek, that shows how much we set aside for funding, but I don't have a breakdown of funds. That's typically controlled by the project manager on the design team.
Okay, so as this furthers in the process and in the design, then I fully anticipate that those questions about how this is moving through the Historic Denver process, how it is moving through with the DCC and the neighbors to the north of the DCC, all of those will be transparent and open in the coming months, and the additional public meetings that will be held on that. And Meredith, as far as funding and that breakdown, it probably will be a little while before we can actually get to a point where the allocation of those funds, which were held with Denver Moves, will be specifically allocated. But I think they're just in a holding pattern right now on the use of those funds, as far as I know. Is that your understanding, Kayla?
Yeah, I mean, the design package is moving. So the funds are already committed to our design consultant. And we don't have cost estimates for construction yet. That's part of what will be developed with this design package. So I don't know exactly how much the design costs. And you could probably submit a request for that, but I don't know that it's something we typically publicize for specific projects.
Okay. Well, and we'll come back to that, and I'll talk to Richard about that too, because some of these funds were allocated as being funds available through the sale of the parking structure. So there's some of those historic elements that go back, and this is more, I think, Meredith, right? A follow-up to what many of us had talked about when we were having those discussions several years ago. So, okay. Are there other questions for Kayla at this point? We will ask her to come back as this project matures, but we do want everyone to know it is happening, and it is happening now. And when we're going to wrap up at the end of the summer, I think you said, Kayla. So this is it's happening right now, and there will be other public meetings, and we'll make sure that everybody is notified of those meetings. Kayla just put in the chat the very long link to
Yeah,
get
sorry
more.
about that.
Yeah, it is very long, I gotta say. But this will be available to folks when they review the recording of this, and we'll make sure that everyone has that information as well. So
there's a link
with that,
also on the website to sign up for project updates. So if you want to stay in the loop, you can sign up for an email list, and that link to that is on the page.
Perfect. No, that's really great. So anybody who wants to, you can sign up, and then you won't have to wait for me to get the information and try to push it out. So please sign up yourselves, make sure your organizations are informed, and so that we don't have any surprises. But I think really, as far as the agenda today, if there are no further questions for Kayla about this, this is really our larger topic of discussion for today. Just quickly, how many people were on that First Avenue public outreach meeting? Did any of you all see that? Brooks was there.
I was there.
Richard was there. So I think Doug was there. So I think we had a number of people who were there. So again, it's happening now. It's moving forward. I know Stuart was there. Stuart's been involved in this from day one, and we're so happy that we have Transportation Solutions at the table for this important discussion. And just to remind everybody, this is also taking into account our plan, our very future plan for BRT along that corridor. So it'll be a while, but the plan is taking into account that hopefully at some point we will have BRT to make it easy to get from our area to downtown, central downtown, easily every 15 minutes. So with that, we will bring this. Oh, yes.
I'd like to add
I'm sorry,
one
Meredith.
thing. I'm just going to jump in so that can you hear me?
Not very well. Can you try that again?
We'll try. I don't, many of you know that in the 90s, we got Taubman to adopt that mayor's plaque that's on the Cherry Creek Trail. And they updated it. It's a great plaque on the creek side of the shopping center. And it lists all the mayors. It was done by Columbia Bank, so way back when. And they brought in a crane. They spent $3,000 updating it. But it was never really adopted. So I'm hoping that everyone hears me asking that Taubman, Simon, East West, and Denver Parks and Recreation kind of talk together to make sure that that's maintained, because it's a beautiful structure commemorating all the mayors of Denver.
Well, thanks for that, Meredith. I'm not sure I'm not really that aware of it, so I'll look for it next time, but I appreciate it.
Look for it. Yeah, it's Columbia Bank that did it. And I couldn't get Norwest and then US Bank to take it over. But I'm happy to say that Taubman stepped up. And I just want to say thank you, Taubman, for doing that.
Mike, you're getting applause over here. So
Really
thank
nice
you.
to hear. I'm embarrassed to admit that I'm not sure what she's referencing, but like you, Lou, I
well,
need to actually
you and
go
I
down there and
together will go find it.
I was going to say I need to go look at it because it sounds very cool.
Yeah.
I think
South side of the
it's
bike
a field
path.
trip. It's actually south of Cherry Creek West now, but it's
Okay.
worth a field trip.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you guys. You did it in the 90s.
A little before my time.
Yeah. Okay. I wish I could say it was before my time, but I just don't remember it. Maybe it shows you how old I was. Maybe I once knew. Now I don't. Anyway, thank you all very much. If anybody has anything else they'd like to add, please let me know right now. Otherwise, we will bring this meeting to a close. Seeing no hands, I'll just thank you all for being here, and I will get the recording up as soon as possible. And enjoy this fabulous weather, y'all.
Appreciate it.
Bye now.
Everybody. Bye.